Morning everybody. Just wanted to get back to Corrupt Cowboys, overseen by the infamous MERRAN McCrae, the 3,500 plus bonus. Oh, don't sack nobody, MERRAN McCrae. I'm having a burger out today again, can you see? Tribute to, I told you earlier about them squandering all your money and that, on fancy clothes, burger house and that, taxpayers' money. I'll tell you what I forgot to show you, just so you know it were all. I don't know if you can see that. Basically, that was that fraud bloke, that David Werry. And basically after that, nothing done. Even though they've got all evidence, nobody sacked nothing, squandered all your money. No, they're not bothered, are they? They're truly not bothered. I'll tell you what somebody was asking me about. He said, what's that about that £50,000 in your bank and that? You won't believe this. This is how bad they are. Embezzling each other. What happened basically? With council, in some cases, if you put a price in for a job, basically, you can get an advance payment, of that nature. If the job costs quite a lot of money, but with me, all my work was day work, basically. I did some, I got paid for men, for machines and that, day by day type thing. And, I never asked for an advance payment or anything, but at times they used to say to me, can you do us like just an invoice and don't itemise out on that for this amount or that amount, and don't work later. And I was thinking, well, at least there might be a bit of work. Unbeknown to me, what they were doing, I couldn't believe this. And one of them, I don't know where, I'll have to get it out, one of them was for about 50 grand. And basically what they're saying, no, it's work in future, but really, do you know what they were doing? I couldn't believe it when I found out. And some of them were for amounts like 3,000. One of the emails, I'll show you it even says the word dodgy on it. But listen to this is how bad they are in there. They all get money for the budgets for certain divisions and that, but what were doing, and it was somebody high up in council who basically put me right on it. He says, did you ask for any advance payments? I says, well no. I says, no. He says, there's no possible reason for them to say to you, can you put that amount of money in your bank and do work later? I said, well, I did it a lot, I says, over years. And as I say, I'll get it out. One of them was 50-odd thousand quid. He said, do me a favour, will you? He says, just have a look when they were doing that. Anyway, I looked at that and I showed him. He says, have you noticed anything? I said, what? He says, it's always end of tax year. And lo and behold, it was. He said, do you know what they've been doing? He says, they're embezzling their own people and their own books, doctoring their own books. He says, they're getting you to write these invoices for these vast amounts at times, like 50,000. He says, and paying you at end of tax year, then it looks like they've spent the budget so they can get more money for their division. I mean, it answers its own question, doesn't it? I mean, some of the stuff they've been up to. I mean, but some of the amounts were like 3,000, 3,200, 3,400, but as I said, one was like 50, 60,000. So in effect, basically, they're saying to me, it's a bit of con really, they're saying, oh, there's some work and that, but all they were doing really, they were shifting money basically into my bank account, and it looked like they'd spent it so that they could get more money in the budget. This is how bad they were. Just do out, and they know about all this, just chief exec and all the cronies, they know all about it. Yeah, making out they spent this amount of money so they could get more out of government and more for their division. They need more, didn't they? So much stuff they've been doing, friend this, bit of dike cleaning for golf, Ponty golf course. Honestly, yeah, so they're getting me to do that. I mean, how bad's that? They say, no, it's for a bit of work, this, but as that kid from council said to me, says, there's just no explanation and reason for him to say to you, give us an invoice and don't itemise it and we'll pay you. He said, what if you'd have like gone bankrupt? He said, we'd have lost that money. He says, there's a lot of scenarios here. He said, but at the end of the day, he says, they've done it and it looks like they've spent that money in their financial year. That's how bad they are. But right, I just want to get on to tell you about another now at HAVERCROFT. And pretty bad for because people at HAVERCROFT, they've been under flood conditions. So basically, I'm just going to show you this at HAVERCROFT. And a lot of you will know this place. And it looks pretty now and everything, yeah. And what happened with this, I got asked to go down. I'll just show you that. That's how it's left now, basically. See where them black lines are? That should be the water course. You see there's something in it. That's how they leave them now. They don't even clean them out. See how vegetation's all grown over. There's a carpet there. I mean, grass has grown around carpet. I don't know how long that's been there. But about 10 years ago I went down there, and what happened was, we did a full, cleaned it all proper. After the floods again, where the, better do something. Cleaned it all, even on the other side. And what used to happen was, on this side, it travels down, and what you had to do, you had to go up road, round farmer's field, and clean right far down and work your way back. So water would get away. And we did all that, and, did it all lovely and everything. Supposed to be kept maintained, just left. Then a couple of years ago, they went, we want to renew our grill and head wall. I said, well, it don't need doing. I said, it just don't need doing. Well, we want it doing. Anyway, I often moaned and groaned about it. I said, but do you know what it was? Junior engineers were that scared of any retribution in office. The day it said, no, Nick followed you and Paul Madison says that's what's got to be done. I says, you're replacing something that don't need replacing. I says, all it needs this, and do you know all it needed? It needed some vegetation taken out downstream, and the culvert underneath, this is the best part, the culvert that goes under the road there, it's just full of silt. So basically what you've got, you had £14,000 spent of taxpayers' money, and do you know what you're left with? Just saying. It's just full of silt. And what I said to them was, take some vegetation out downstream so water can get away, get a jetter in and jet the culvert out. No, we're not doing that. I said, well, what? I said, it's ludicrous. I said, you're building walls and fences and no grills. What? It don't need doing. I said, it don't alter anything at all. I says, jet that gully out, and if anybody wants to have a look up there, you'll see. It's just, it could really do with a new gully all the way under, a new culvert under the road, but they won't go to that expense. They'll squander it other ways. So basically, what you're left with is, it never got no proper maintenance. All it needed was jetting under the culvert, jetting all silt out so water could get away, and cleaning out downstream. After moaning, I had a week of moaning, I says, for me to build that, I says, I need to get water away. I says, so I've got, in end, they let me clean a little stretch out downstream, and that was that. But, as I said, 14 grand, what it didn't need, it just needed £1,000 spending on a bit of vegetation cleaning. And that culvert jetting out. And as I say, all you've got there now is something that looks more pretty, but that's it. You still can flood. And I'll tell you what I writ to them. I writ about Cow Lane to them. I don't know if you'll see this, what I writ to them. And it was about Cow Lane at the time. And that's what I writ to them about Cow Lane. They wouldn't even pay me. Because it went over budget. It went, mega over budget. And they wouldn't even pay me. I had to write to that Graham West, who oversees it all. He knows about it, this Graham West. But yeah, you've got a pretty thing there that looks quite nice. A bit of an eyesore, to be honest, to some people. But all it is, that culvert is still full of silt. And it just needed that jetting out. So, just another case of how they squander your money. They don't care. They just don't care at all. They're not bothered. And I'm going to get on to you about, I'm going to tell you about things like these steel grills and that, how much they cost. Because what happened was, this Nick Fogarty, who was a bad person, basically, he more or less rung a friend up and that, you know, to start having them made. So I'm going to tell you all about that, because there's a lot of contractors out there, especially small ones, probably try getting on with council, but, you know, there's certain ways you get on with council. Apart from taking them out for meals and games of golf, there's other ways to get on, you know. Friend this, friend that, yeah. So, all you at HAVERCROFT who down there who flood, when that were going on, little did you know, it's just done nothing at all, not a thing. You're still culpable for flooding, you know, major damage. I know that, what did they do? They put you some safety gates or something on. £1,000 to jet that culvert in there, that's all it, £1,000. And to be fair, they ought to clean all the way downstream again, you know, but they won't. They are biggest cowboys you've ever come across, these people in there. But yeah, I told them, I complained about it for you, and as I said, engineers, you'll say, it's not up to us, basically we daren't say anything. So, you at HAVERCROFT, what you're left with now, basically, it's cost you 14 grand of your money, which they could have done a lot more with that, couldn't they, to be fair? I mean, all taxpayers in Wakefield pay that, but all you're left with now is a culvert under the road that's basically half full of silt. That's it. And I told them this, honestly, they're not bothered about you. They're not bothered. Do you know what we looked on, all people in Wakefield, by these lot, peasants? Set of peasants, that's all we are. And this MERRAN McCrae who runs it, still, even though she's put children's lives at risk on her watch, well, it hasn't gone. She's not letting go of that 3.5 grand plus bonuses and all cronies. And don't forget one thing, all these things, what they know about, being covered up, all covered up. I mean, look at that, water course. Can you see where black lines are? That's supposed to be the water course. And that's across the district. There's lots of places like that. And you remember me telling you about cleaning 100 metre at dyke? They don't do all like that. If there were any water, that carpet would come down to the grill, probably block it, water would back up, and that's how it works. They spend the money on people at Ponty Golf Course who I up at council doing them favours, or spending hundreds of thousands on colliery sites for their mates. Spending thousands of your money, in, you know, on my account to buy fancy clothes. But yeah, at HAVERCROFT basically, well, you've got nothing. You've got nothing for your money, any of you. That's all, you know, nothing. They are the most complacent, arrogant people you will come across. So, I just thought I'd show you that at HAVERCROFT. Quite amazing when I did it, you know. I couldn't believe it. It just didn't need renewing. The grill were fine, the head wall round it were okay, you know, everything worked. But no, it was just like, no, you do it. They're not bothered, they're just not bothered. Nobody's, you know, no checks and balances. Because it goes from junior engineer to next engineer to senior engineer to Graham West, above him, you know, all the way to MERRAN McCrae. So yeah, so every time you walk by that at HAVERCROFT, just have a think and realise that basically it costs 14 grand and it serves no purpose whatsoever. Until you clean the water course further down so water can go away, until that gully, that culvert under the road is jetted, you're just in the same position you've always been. Always. But I'll tell you what, it could do with a new culvert under the road, but they'll not go to that expense. No chance. As I say, you're only peasants like me, we're only peasants, they won't spend that kind of money. I'll tell you where they are spending a lot of money, what a lot of people don't know about. I'm going to tell you a lot about this. And a lot of people won't know. You know, Yorkshire Sculpture Park, well, what happened years ago, it were owned by Leeds Council, and they sold it to Wakefield. And at that time, there was a chap called Peter Davis, I mentioned him earlier on, he was boss of land drainage, he knew his stuff. And at that time, he advised them not to buy Bretton Sculpture Park. And do you know why? Because he said to him, what you don't realise is when we buy that, it's classed as a reservoir as well as the big lake. He said we are responsible for that upkeep. And I'm not kidding you. You wouldn't, but what people, taxpayers don't know, the amount of money spent just down up near the lake and everything. I had 2 stretchers there, 2 12-month stretchers, and with like 10 men on at times. Can you imagine the amount of money and materials and machinery and unbelievable amounts of money spent down there, taxpayers' money, and what do you get for it? Do you know what the system is? Oh, houses getting all done up for weddings. How many's going to get married there? And they might even say, well, there's a bit of private investment, but overall, I can tell you this, you wouldn't believe the colossal amount of money spent down at Bretton. I know you see it Sculpture Park and people walk around and pay. When you go down to the lake, you wouldn't believe the amount of money that I had a tree surgeon on there doing some work for me when I was down there. It was costing him hundreds of thousands when I was down. And I think he charged me 20 grand just to cut trees. It's unreal what they've spent down there and still are spending. Still. And they were advised at the time not to take it. But it's just, I mean, think of this. It's had 24-hour security on it for 30-some years. How much does that cost? Taxpayer. 30-odd year. It's had security on, 24-hour security. Yeah. See, people don't see that side at Sculpture Park. They just see, monuments and things like that, like statues. But yeah, that Bretton,